I am in the middle of about to take a new transition where I'm going to be away from my kids in a different state. So, this is definitely a thing for me where I have been battling my fight or flight mode,
Mm,
and it's like, ugh, do I run or do I sit and
yeah.
actually figure this out? So that's where I'm at with this. What advice would you give me on that, just to pace myself, be easy on myself and not so hard, and not run away because it's different.
Well, without change, there comes no change, right? So
Yeah.
I guess I've always lent on a question whenever I've had a difficult decision to make in regards to
Mhm.
life or anything else, and that is, what's the worst thing that can happen? So if you ask yourself that regarding the decision you've got to make,
Mhm.
I'm sure you'll come to the conclusion that you're looking for.
Well, me, I'm always up to challenge myself to something new and different. And I doesn't matter if I'm scared, I'm gonna do it. It's just, how do I do it? I guess it's like, okay, do I just go all in, or do I just put my toe in just a little bit and see
Mm,
what happens? But mostly with me, it's always all or nothing,
mm,
because you're right. What's the worst that could happen?
yep,
You never know if you're going to succeed at or fail at something if you never actually start it. So you actually got to get moving to get it done. So
exactly.
that's always been my thing. I never set a goal for something. I just say I'm going to do something, and then I just go do it. And then afterwards, it's like I might write something down and say, I want to cook a recipe, never cooked this recipe before, and it's something that's on the top of my head, and I'm like, okay, well, let me put this together. And I'm like overthinking the whole process, but while I'm overthinking the process, I'm actually doing the steps to actually do the recipe, and
Yep.
then the finished result is always something that's enjoyable. And they're like, well, how'd you come up with this recipe? Don't know, it was just a thought in the head, so I just did it, and you liked it, so it wasn't a failure. But I'm thinking in my head, oh my God, this stuff does not go together. Why are you putting it together? And then it turns out great. So I've never made a recipe that failed so far. So I guess I'm a decent kind of cook. So that's another passion of mine. So that was one of the things that helped me through my healing journey as well. And also just being honest with myself and telling myself what I needed to hear and not what I wanted to hear. And do you think that having people around you who will tell you the truth, no matter how hard it is, played a major part in your growth and your journey?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. It's really good to have a good circle of support around you,
Hmm.
obviously, that you can lean on, but can also be honest with you as well. Um,
Hmm.
it's very important to hear the truth. Sometimes it's hard to hear, but
Yeah.
over time, when you sort of remove that emotional part of it and
Yeah.
can hear the truth for what it is, you can obviously make very clear decisions based on that. So, yeah, I completely agree with that.
All right. Well, I'm not going to keep you anymore tonight, but if you are available, just know that I am going to drop your information in our group chat. So
Fantastic.
just be listening out, or reading out, I guess you could say, because it'll be an email or a Facebook message or an Instagram message for you to appear on one of my other podcast sister shows. It has been an enjoyable conversation. Only other thing I can say is growth comes through pain,
Hmm.
and embrace the pain as it comes, but know that it gets better on the other side, because you've grown into a different, more beautiful person on the other side. Is there anything you want to close with for our guest tonight? And then I'm going to say my closing line, and then you're going to have a great day because you're already on Friday. I can't let that go because my Friday is tomorrow.
No, look, I think you've summed it up really well. Without pain, there isn't any growth. That's very, very true. I think everyone will experience that in some way, shape, or form as they go through life. So as long as you can sort of embrace it, run through it, not run away from it, you're going to go a long way to having a successful existence. That's for sure.
All right. Well, I thank you. And I thank you all for tuning in tonight. And I cannot leave without saying this, and that is stay out of God's business. The only thing that He needs you to do is to be obedient to what He's called you to do. I thank you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you for tuning in. Good night.